Good morning, children. Now, today we are going to learn the composition and structure of the atmosphere, which is chapter 12 for the syllabus. This is unit 4, which is covered under atmosphere. So, children, today we are going to learn about composition and structure of the atmosphere, which comes under unit 4, atmosphere. In the atmosphere, unit 4, you have 4 topics to learn. They are the composition and the structure of the atmosphere, insolation, atmospheric pressure and winds, and humidity. So among that, the first one is chapter 12, composition and structure of atmosphere. Right, children? So the table of content of this lesson are: first, you will know the definition of the atmosphere, the composition of atmosphere, importance of atmosphere, sources, the structure of the atmosphere, ozone and its depletion, the global warming causes and impact. Okay, right, children? So let us learn one by one about each point or each topic. First, as you are aware, you might have heard many times atmosphere, the word. There are 3 spheres, that is atmosphere, lithosphere and biosphere. Okay, children, you might have heard this. The earth with its spherical shape is divided into 3 domains. They are lithosphere, which means land, atmosphere, which is air, and hydrosphere, which is water. And these 3 domains together make up the biosphere. The life is possible in the biosphere. Right, children? So, let us learn first the definition of the atmosphere. What is atmosphere? Can you see the atmosphere, children? Yeah, no, we cannot, but we can feel it. Yes. So the definition of the atmosphere is, it is nothing but it's a blanket of air surrounding the earth, and it is a mixture of various gases. Right, children? Atmosphere is nothing but it is a sphere of air, the blanket of air surrounding the earth. It is a mixture of various gases. Example, you can you tell me some examples which are existing in the atmosphere? Yeah, that is oxygen, nitrogen, and so many other gases like helium, hydrogen, or water vapor, carbon dioxide. All these are existing in the atmosphere. Right. Now let us know about the importance of atmosphere. Why atmosphere is important to the human life or the living beings? Why it is important? Do you feel, children, it is important? The atmosphere is important? Yes, yeah, I feel that it is important. It is important. Why? Because it makes the earth a unique planet. Because of the presence of atmosphere only, there is a life possible on the earth. It makes the earth as a unique planet. In the beginning of the chapters, you have learned why earth is a unique planet. Why? Because of the presence of the atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere. um, that is a reason why it is important. So the next one is, it protects the earth from harmful ultraviolet rays. What are UV rays, children? You might have heard the ultraviolet rays, the rays from the sun. They are the ultraviolet rays. This atmosphere protects the earth from the UV rays, that is the ultraviolet rays. And the next one is, children, it helps in maintaining the temperature. What helps in maintaining the temperature? The atmosphere helps in maintaining the temperature. Children, as I have already told you, let me repeat it once again. It is a unique planet. Earth atmosphere makes the earth a unique planet in the solar system. It supplies oxygen. Why it is a unique planet? Because it supplies oxygen and supports life on the earth. And the presence of oxygen is important for human beings and animals, as you know. Is it not, children? Presence of oxygen is important for human beings and animals. Right. The atmosphere protects the earth from the harmful ultraviolet rays and infrared rays of the sun, and it also maintains the temperature suitable for the life. Right, children? Then this is why the atmosphere is important to us. Now next we'll know about the composition of the atmosphere. What amount of gases are present in the atmosphere? The atmosphere is a mixture of many gases and tiny solid particles. They are the mixture of many gases and the tiny solid particles. So as you can see in the diagram, nitrogen, it is of 78%. Nitrogen consists of 78% and oxygen is of 21%, and the remaining 1% is of all the other gases like carbon dioxide, water vapor, helium, hydrogen, argon, etc. So this is the composition of atmosphere. As you are aware, you might have learned in chemistry also, CO2, hydrogen, helium, all these gases are present, the composition of the atmosphere. Right. Children, now let us learn about the structure of the atmosphere. What are the at different levels, there are different levels present in the atmosphere, and each level is with the different names given to it. The layers are the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, exosphere, ionosphere, and so on. So children, we have to learn about each and every sphere. The first and the foremost is the troposphere. The first and the foremost is the troposphere. Next comes the stratosphere. Children, while I am explaining this, the layers of the atmosphere, open your textbook, the page number 12.2. Look at the diagram given. It is very clearly given. This is another diagram. Look at the diagram given in your textbook also. And when I send the notes, you have to draw this diagram in your notebook. Right, children? So the first sphere is the troposphere. The next one is the stratosphere. The third one is the mesosphere. And the last one is the thermosphere. Thermosphere is again further divided into ionosphere and exosphere. Now let us learn one by one about each sphere. First one is troposphere. It is closest to the Earth's surface. Troposphere is closest to the Earth's surface. Right? It is the lowermost and the densest layer. It is a dusty zone containing much water vapor and clouds. Children, the temperature decreases with height at an average rate of 1 degrees centigrade per 167 meters of height above the sea level, and this is also known as lapse rate. The upper limit of the troposphere is called as tropopause. The upper limit of the troposphere is known as the tropopause. So what is the first layer, children, in the atmosphere? The first layer is troposphere. Then the next one is the stratosphere. Next one is stratosphere. Children, it lies above the tropopause. Stratosphere lies above the tropopause. It is free from water vapor and dust particles. Tropopause, stratosphere, is free from water vapor and dust particles. There are no clouds in this layer. And in its lower layer, children, the temperature remains constant and increases with height. The temperature is constant and increases with height. It absorbs the harmful ultraviolet rays. It absorbs the harmful ultraviolet rays, radiations from the sun. Okay, children. Now the next one is the mesosphere. Children, the mesosphere, this layer lies above the stratosphere. And children, the chief characteristics of this mesosphere is, in this layer, the temperature decreases with height. Always the temperature decreases with the height. And children, due to the reflected sunlight from meteoric dust particles, there are wispy clouds found in this layer. There are wispy clouds found in this layer. And the last layer is the thermosphere, which is further divided into as ionosphere and exosphere. What is ionosphere? Ionosphere is nothing but, this is the layer which is located above the mesosphere. This is the layer which is located above the mesosphere. It contains electrically charged particles. This layer contains electrically charged particles called ions. What are ions? Ions are nothing but the electrically charged particles. And ionosphere reflects the radio waves back to the Earth's surface and making radio communication possible. This ionosphere reflects the radio waves back to the Earth's surface and making radio communication possible. And the next one is exosphere. What is exosphere, children? It is nothing but, it is the topmost layer of the Earth's atmosphere. And in this layer, the atmospheric pressure is extremely low. So, the atmospheric pressure is extremely low. It is the its upper limit is uncertain. The upper limit is uncertain. This layer acts as a transitional zone between the Earth's atmosphere and the interplanetary surface or the interplanetary space. Its upper limit is uncertain, and this layer acts as a transitional zone between the Earth's atmosphere and the interplanetary space. Let me quickly revise, children, that 4 different layers of the atmosphere are: first one, it is troposphere, then stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere, which is again divided into as ionosphere and exosphere. Refer, children, the textbook, the characteristics of it, and the diagram, very clear, which is very, very important from the examination point of view. Diagram also is very important. And page number 93, figure 12.2. You have to refer this and read from the textbook once after listening to the video. After listening to this class, you open your textbook and go through the textbook and read the content of the textbook also. Okay, children. Now let us move forward and learn about ozone and its depletion. Ozone layer and its depletion. Children, are you aware what is an ozone layer? Yes. Yeah, it is nothing but ozone layer is a form of oxygen. Ozone layer is nothing but it is a form of oxygen. And children, this layer lies between within the stratosphere. This layer lies within the stratosphere. It keeps the temperature constant at the lower level and absorbs ultraviolet rays of the sun. This layer makes the temperature constant at the lower level and absorbs the ultraviolet rays. Children, this ozone layer is essential for life on the earth. This ozone layer is essential for the life on the earth. Children, it protects the earth. Not only it's important, essential for the life. Why? Because it protects the earth and its biosphere from the extra heat. It protects the biosphere from the extra heat. Children, the ozone layer in the stratosphere not only it protects the biosphere from it also protects from the extra heat. But children, there is a danger for the depletion of through the harmful gases and increase in the level of carbon dioxide in the lower atmosphere. Children, I think you have understood what is an ozone layer. It is nothing but it is a form of oxygen, and it is present in the rare amounts in the Earth's atmosphere. Approximately 1 molecule of every 2 million present in the atmosphere is ozone. Children, the stratosphere, it is in between 20 to 50 kilometers above sea level. It is present in the significant amount. Children, but the ozone decreases by the sunlight acting on a number of pollutants in the air. And why it protects the earth and its biosphere from extra heat. So there is a risk of depletion of the ozone layer. There are some reasons for the depletion of ozone layer, and why there are so many other causes, like many chemicals like chlorine, bromine, etc. destroy the ozone layer and cause depletion of it. Not only this, the volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions also are one of the cause of the ozone depletion. And not only that, the solar storms in the space are also one of the reason for the ozone depletion. And not only that, the chlorofluorocarbons also are regarded as a source of depletion for the reason for the ozone hole near Antarctica. Ozone hole near Antarctica. You know, children, what are the sources of the chlorofluorocarbons? Yeah, the refrigerators, the aircraft, the air conditioners, which they release lot of CO2. They are the sources of the chlorofluorocarbons. Children, I think you might have understood what is an ozone layer and why. What are the reasons for the depletion? It's a very important point from the examination point of view. Make a note of it. What is an ozone layer and what are the reasons for the depletion of the ozone layer and what is an ozone hole also. Okay, children. Now, there are some harmful effects of the ozone depletion. If there is a depletion in the ozone layer, there are some harmful effects also. Children, these ultraviolet rays can enter the Earth's lower atmosphere through the ozone hole, and which is harmful to the atmosphere, and it is also harmful to the biosphere also. The excessive radiation of ultraviolet rays can harm this of the sun would render man and animal kind causing skin cancer or some diseases problem, the deficiency of immunity and so on. And there is a danger of damage caused to the crops and the flora also. And many aquatic and microscopic organisms also, there is a risk of for their life. So these are the harmful effects of the depletion of the ozone layer. So now let us learn about the global warming. Have you heard about this, children? Global warming? Yeah, you might have learned in science also. And nowadays there is a risk of the global warming increasing day by day. You might have heard the definition or the what is the meaning of the global warming. It's nothing but it is the rise in the average mean temperature of the earth due to an increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. It is global warming. Global warming is nothing but it is the rise in the average mean temperature of the earth due to an increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide and other gases in the atmosphere, which is known as global warming. And there are some causes we need to know. The children, this point is very, very, very much important from the examination point of view. You need to know the exact definition of the global warming and why it is caused, the causes for the global warming. The foremost important cause of the global warming is the destruction of the ozone layer, the deforestation, the greenhouse effects in the atmosphere, and so many. There are so many other reasons also, like depletion, the deforestation, destruction of the ozone layer, and so on. Children, the first important reason is the destruction of the ozone layer. When there is a depletion or the destruction in the ozone layer in the stratosphere, which protects the earth from the ultraviolet rays of the sun, and its depletion contributes to the global warming. Next one is the greenhouse effects in the atmosphere. The greenhouse effects in the atmosphere also contributes one of the reason for the global warming. Children, the increase in the temperature due to concentration of the greenhouse gases is known as the greenhouse effect. You can have a look at the diagram in your textbook for the greenhouse effect of figure 12.4 on page number 96. Greenhouse effects or the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere allow the near infrared rays from the sun to penetrate into the earth. But children, these gases do not allow the heat radiated by the heated earth to penetrate back into the space. Children, the fossil fuel based industries and the man's lifestyle also have resulted in an unpredicted rise in these gases known as the greenhouse gases, especially the fossil fuel based industries and the man's lifestyle, which have resulted in an unprecedented rise of these gases, which are known as the greenhouse gases. Children, we have seen a greenhouse which is covered with the glass, and you might have observed that it allows the sun's rays to penetrate into the greenhouse but blocks the radiation of the heat from the greenhouse back into the atmosphere. So children, this is also one of the cause of the global warming. Right. Now the next one is the deforestation. Deforestation also is one of the cause of the global warming. And children, the clearing away of the forest and the forest ecosystems on a large scale have posed several dangers to the life on the earth. So children, the dust in the atmosphere plays a key role in the reflecting terrestrial radiation back to the earth. It may also cause extra cooling at night because their soils get cooler and warmer more quickly than soils covered with the vegetation. Not only these, the human activities also, like excess using of fossil fuels, burning of the agricultural waste and vegetation, air pollution, factories, vehicles which release a lot of chlorofluorocarbons are also one of the cause for the increase of the global warming. Children, you might have followed what is global warming. The causes of the global warming. Children, as you are aware, the greenhouse effect, the heating of the Earth's atmosphere due to trapping of the infrared rays by the CO2 layer in the atmosphere, it's called as the greenhouse effect. Refer textbook, children, while you after listening to the class, open your textbook, go through the points, the content present in your textbook also once, and when we send the notes to you, it is very clearly given to you, and from there you can pick up the worksheet points also. Right? Now let us learn about the impact of the global warming. Because of this global warming, what is the impact? Impact is nothing but the effect. Then because of the global warming, there is the melting of glaciers, snow mountains, and the polar ice caps. Why there is a melting? Because there is an increase in the temperature. Naturally, there is a melting of the glaciers. Because of this melting of the glaciers and the snow mountains, there is a rise in the sea level. Yes, there is a rise in the sea level, and there is a flooding of the low-lying coastal areas also. And not only that, there is a disturbance in the agriculture. Like the climate change will bring about substantial changes in the cereal production, especially in the tropics. In the tropics, cereals dominate the food sources and are mainstay of agriculture. There will be no shortage of the cereals also. And one more important reason is changes in the rainfall pattern. Yes, there is a change in the rainfall pattern also because of the global warming, and diseases are affected because of the temperature and precipitation are two important causative factors of diseases, like so many other, like malaria and so on, children. Right now, further, during such changes in the past, life forms and landforms and water bodies have changed. So because of the rise in the temperature, naturally there is a change in the health issues of the human life, and there are so many diseases occurring because of this global warming. Children, as the textbook data says that, see, the global mean temperature increased by approximately 0.6 degrees in the 20th century. As we move further, the average temperature of the earth may increase by 1.4 to 5.8 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. So as our contribution, we should see that we use less when we go out, the vehicular pollution or the chlorofluorocarbons. We have a control in our hands to reduce all this. So if we contribute for this, maybe there is a chance of the depletion of this global warming also. Children, now let me quickly revise about the contents of the lesson. The first, initially we have learned about the definition of the atmosphere. Then it's nothing but it is a blanket of air surrounding the earth. It is a mixture of various gases. And then we have learnt about the importance of the atmosphere, like it's earth, it makes the earth a unique planet. It protects the earth from the harmful ultraviolet rays. It helps in maintaining the temperature. Not only that, and we have learnt about the composition of the atmosphere, which is nitrogen. It contributes to nearly 79%, and oxygen 21%. The remaining 1% is of the other gases. Then the structure of the earth, the different layers we have learned: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and so on. And next we have learnt about the ozone layer, its depletion. Yes, ozone is nothing but it is a form of oxygen and its depletion. And then we have learnt about the global warming. Global warming is nothing but the rise in the average mean temperatures of the earth due to an increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which is known as the global warming. Not only that, we have learned about the causes. Briefly, let me revise, children. Causes are nothing but the destruction of the ozone layer, the greenhouse effects, the human activities like the deforestation, excess use of fossil fuels, or the air pollution, the factories, air pollution which are released from the factories, vehicles, etc., and so on. And not only that, the effects of the global warming are that it's a melting of the glaciers, snow mountains, and polar ice caps, and increase in the sea level, change occur in the rainfall pattern. Fresh water will be contaminated with the salty water due to the salty water of the sea, and the radiation imbalances occurs, and so on. Right, children? So after this, the notes will be sent to you for this lesson, atmosphere, children. Then you have to take down the notes in your notebook. Then worksheets will be sent to you. Solve the worksheets and make a note of it. Children, whenever there is in the notes is sent to you, whenever the teachers are typing like the diagram from the textbook so and so, from the textbook you need to see and draw the diagram there in your notebook. Yes, don't miss that. And not only this, after listening to the classes, children, go through the textbook again and again. I am mentioning, go through the textbook once, read the content of the textbook also, underline the points which were stressed in the class. See, almost all the points whichever are there in the textbook, I'm briefly covering it. You also can underline in the textbook, especially the syllabus, the points, the table of contents you have to focus. Go through that thoroughly so that it is simpler for you to understand the lesson and make some important points. Mostly you try to underline the points in the textbook with the pencil, and when the worksheet is sent to you, it helps you to solve those questions also. Children, if you are not doing that, you will miss it. So as of the date, up to date, whenever the notes are sent to you, copy in your notebooks and then solve the worksheet also. Okay, children.